HG lifestyle. It's a mindset. Make sure you adopt it, baby. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the HG Lifestyle Show. Guys, I know some of you have heard the previous episodes, so just to kind of give you guys a quick little update, we kind of rebranded things. We're starting fresh. We've gained a lot of valuable information that we want to now share with you. So, guys, I'm joined by my host, Matty Leverage. Matty, say what up to the peeps.
Check. How's everyone doing out there?
So, guys, what's happening, man, is we got a lot of good shit going on, a lot of good stuff happening. So, and you guys will get to hear everything as we move forward. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a quick introduction so you guys could get to know a little bit of my partner, Matt Leverage, Matthew Pavone, goes by Matty Leverage on social media, and just a little bit of my background so you guys, can engage with us and relate, right? Because a lot of people have this idea that you have to be born into the right circumstances in order to succeed, and that's just fucking not the case at all whatsoever. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, to touch on what John's saying, we both come from different backgrounds, but in a lot of ways we had our own struggles growing up, and we came together because we have been able to overcome adversity in our own rights between family and not necessarily being born with a silver spoon in our mouths, but at the same time kind of having our struggles with our own drug addictions in both of our backgrounds. So we'll get to that, and we want to touch on that and how that's kind of shaped us to who we are today as serial entrepreneurs. We have a lot of valuable information that will, in the future that I think you guys can gain from. We both have sons that are kind of going into their, teen years, 18-year-old years, and we feel like that is the people we want to impact the most, because I feel like that was a big transition for me. Moving into adulthood and choosing the right crowd to hang out with, making that decision, do I go to school, do I not, what are my goals, what are my passions, and creating a life ladder as far as the steps in order to get to after what we're all about in the HG Living family, freedom. So, John, if you want to open up with what, kind of your background.
Yeah. I mean, look, a lot of you have kind of heard before. Some of you may have not. So, I don't want to get too deep into it, man. But just to kind of give you guys an understanding of kind of where I came from, man. I grew up in a Hispanic family. We migrated to the United States when I was a little kid. And, when we got here, we didn't really have a house. We didn't really have shit, So we lived in a house where my whole family shared a room. I mean, this is a family of 5. We all lived in a bedroom, not a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm saying a bedroom, but when you're a kid, you don't really understand what's happening, what's going on. But I got to see the struggles that my pops went through, worked his ass off, all to have nothing at the end. Right. So I just kind of realized at a young age. And what happened, guys, is I'm a kid from the 80s. I was born in the 80s. So I watched basketball in the 90s, huge Michael Jordan fan. And I'll never forget how I realized the difference of where we were and where other people were. Going to school, all my friends were rocking the Jays, the Jordans, playing basketball in them. And, as kids, we're influenced, right? And I wanted them. Asked my pops, and my pops like, shit, dude, we can't afford those fucking shoes. And that's when I realized, like, fuck, money's important. So from that moment on, I started thinking of ways that I could make money as a young kid. And, I hustled here and there, sold some shit. But, I come from a background where, we didn't have shit. We didn't have much. But one thing my dad did instill in me was the hustle, the grind. The work I watched this man put in was fucking amazing. I mean, I knew I didn't want to go that route, but it instilled that mentality in me. My dad is the kind of person that whatever you have him do, he'll do it. He'll do it well, and he'll do it better than you eventually. He's just that mentality. So I adopted that from it, but I also saw the crazy hours he worked and just didn't have shit to show for it. So, I made mistakes. I was introduced to the drug world and realized how quick you can make some money. And obviously, that's not the route I suggest anybody to go. We all go through our journey, whatever that may be. Now, one thing I will tell you is I did learn a lot from that journey. I learned business from it. I understood, buy a wholesale so you can sell retail, turn a profit. I learned those things. I didn't realize what I was learning, right? But as I got older and got into business, I realized that it all applies. right? Delegating, finding people to go hustle for me, put in the work for me so that I can scale. So it's all the same shit, right? So make sure, I know a lot of you guys out there, that's how you earn your income right now. You're a hustler, you're grinding, but understand that if you've been able to do that, you can get into a legit business because a lot of the same shit applies. So as we go on, you'll hear a little bit more about the story, but I want to introduce you guys to Matt. So I'll let Matt kind of tell his story and kind of tell you guys, what his background is. So, let's start off as a young kid, bro. How was your childhood like? I mean, obviously you weren't born with money, right?
Yeah, well, grew up back east. I'm a New England guy. My family, my childhood was great. I mean, I think about growing up, come from a divorced family. So, I had that ongoing rift between mom and dad growing up. Mom was always complaining that Pops wasn't taking care of us from a financial standpoint. So I had that instinctively in my mind, like, hey, I need to figure out a way so we're not struggling. So growing up, I would say we grew up, I wouldn't say poor, but I wouldn't say we had everything we wanted. I do remember my mom having, like, being on child support, not child support, but what's it called? Food stamps, right? Back then they had the stamps. You go to the grocery store if you can't make. So, I mean, my mom was always saying, your Pops, because 4 kids, my dad was working really just like an $8 an hour job, taking all his checks. So I would hear it on both sides. And it's hard because as a kid, you kind of are in between that. And growing up, I remember at a young age always looking for different hustles from, mowing lawns to lemonade stands to selling candy at school to, just trying to figure landscaping business in the future. I mean, we did it all, like as kids, trying to figure out a way to get to the buck. And but overall, though, I mean, I came from a loving family. That at the end of the day, the family was a big element of what we were trying to. Basically, when I was getting older, I realized that how grateful I was to have a family of loving parents. Regardless of money, it wasn't about that as much as it was just like, hey, we are, in the. We're a loving family that, regardless of my parents' differences, because getting divorced back then from an Italian background was a big deal. Italians and Latinos, we share a lot of similarities in the family element, in trust and loyalty and things like that. So, as I got older, I realized the importance of, what it's going to take to get to the next level. And really wanted to just, ever since a young age, because I was very much involved in sports, so had a good background as far as that goes. But realized, hey, if you're not going to make it in baseball, man, you need to go all out in something. So I decided, my career in business was definitely something that I wanted to pursue as I got older. But yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, overall, like I said, I mean, family. I come from a great family. Not to take anything away from either parent, but definitely that element of financial stress that I might hear from my mother living with her, and when my parents split, and then traveling down to see my old man, saying that your mom's taking all my money. So it was that constant, give and take. But overall, our family was, I can't say nothing negative about how I grew up. Overall, we come from a very loving background overall. So yeah, moved out west, had my son at a young age, so I had to grow up fast, 20 years old, and quickly realized, the importance of, if you want to get to the next level, you need to stop thinking like everyone else. So I started reading at a young age, and one of the major breakout books for me, this is back in early 2000s, was the Rich Dad Poor Dad. So read that book, changed my life, got real acquainted with leverage, and that's why I go by that term today, because I feel like the power in leveraging your credit is huge to the viewers out there. I mean, that changed everything in my life when I stopped thinking about exchanging my time for money. So with that said, I feel like that's really what was the big indicator as far as getting to the next level and figuring out, this game of life and really just trying to, get to the next level. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, and that's what made my way out here in Utah. We're now, my son now 17 years old. He's, getting to that age now where I want to give him those tidbits of information to hopefully make good decisions for his future. and really just figure out what his next steps are in order to get to the next level. So that's why this is so important for me, just because I have a 17-year-old and I think back to what I was thinking when I was that age, right? So, girls are obviously getting involved, what you look like, how you move, everything. You can have a good day just based off having a pimple on your face. I remember, you know what I mean? Or a bad day and you're humiliated at school. I mean, something so stupid, and people are so concerned with, the outer, and I want to really touch on that today. I feel like if people can get away from what other people think and just be themselves and be their true version of themselves, this world would be a lot better of a place. And people just really need to stop judging each other and embracing who they are and looking at themselves in the mirror and trying to become a better version of themselves. And that's what I'm really trying to instill in my son to now, is to see his old man. We made mistakes, me and Jon both. We come from that background where we had to figure it out as we went. We didn't have access to the information that's available today to the viewers out there. So I feel like there's no excuses for anyone out there that's struggling with, no matter what, what hurdles you're going through. But really just saying, gritting down and saying, hey, the information that is available today, I wish, it's almost too much information. It's almost overwhelming now. People are getting distracted because there's so much information. And I think getting to what your core values are and what HD Lifestyle Family is all about, and our viewers out there, I think we believe in that 5F system. And so that now that we're older, we want people to know, to gain knowledge that, hey, there's a core value that this company and our culture moves by. And from hiring to firing to really just allowing yourself to get to the next level, that the 5Fs encompasses all those factors. And we're really hoping to instinctively let the youth know that that's something that I think they should take on at an early age. And by default, that's going to make your life a lot better of a place.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, there's a lot to touch on with what Matt was talking about. But guys, simply to make it make it clear, the whole purpose why we decided to do this, man, is because back in the days, I wish somebody would have given me the information, right? I wish somebody would have been there to guide me. And I'm not saying that, again, it's my fault because I didn't seek it. I didn't go look for it. I thought I knew it all. I thought I was the shit. I thought nobody could touch me. I thought my shit didn't stink. Like, I was one cocky son of a bitch, and I was a dick, right? And I made a lot of mistakes because of it. There was nobody I could meet that knew more than I did. Like, this motherfucker don't know shit. I'm the man. I'm the one they need to be learning from. That was stupid of me. It was just my ego, right? And I made a lot of mistakes that ended up locking me up and putting me away from my family. But that was the moment that I learned, holy shit, it's time to get your shit together. But that's the whole purpose of why we did HG Lifestyle, is we wanna help and guide the youth out there, help you guys understand that, hey, listen, who gives a fuck what your background is? It doesn't matter how you grew up. It doesn't matter the mistakes you made. It doesn't matter whether you graduated or you didn't graduate, or you're going to college or you're not, or your mom was broke, or you're whatever. It's all bullshit, right? So we're here to try to help people understand that you are in full control of the outcome of your life. So whatever life you want to live, figure it out. If you really want that life, then go get it. Go make it happen. And to touch on the 5F, there's a system here that we adopt to, that we want everybody to focus on winning. There's 5 areas in life, guys, that if you focus on winning in these 5 key areas of life, and you're never going to get it perfect. You're always going to struggle in one or the other, but the point is always working towards these. Life is beautiful, man. Matt, why don't you tell them what those are, baby? What's the 5F? What's the 5 fundamentals?
So the 5 fundamentals, to start it off right, is faith. The first one being faith and a belief system that we all share here. I personally have a belief in a higher up, but really what it comes down to is a belief in yourself and that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to, and that you believe in the process. Because a lot of times we have this immediate gratification, and I think that's just because of the information error and just being able to have a phone in your hands. But life, like I said, is a lot different in reality. You have to believe that, first of all, you can accomplish what you set your mind to, and that through the process of that belief system that you can get to the next level. The second F, Jon, if you want to touch on that.
Well, the second is family, baby, because listen, you gotta provide for your loved ones. You have to set a good example for your loved ones. right? You have to have a good relationship with your loved ones. Because, guys, you could be making all the money in the world, but if you get home and your kids fucking hate you, they can't stand you because you lie to them, you don't play with them, you give them no attention, your significant other can't stand you. That's not a good life, man. That's not a good life. So it's about having those good relationships with your loved ones, but not just that, guys. It's also about who you surround yourself with, right? Family doesn't necessarily mean brothers, sisters, kids, wife. It also means who are the top 5 people that you're surrounding yourself with, right? Because we all heard it as kids, right? Oh, you are who you hang out with, and we all thought it was bullshit. It was just our parents trying to get us to not hang out with the bad kids at school. But guys, it is a fucking fact. I'm telling you right now. And guys, I'm gonna interrupt this whole episode real quick because we got the producer in the back trying to tell us not to touch the mics, but I don't think Matty Leverage is understanding what he's saying. He's saying don't touch the mics, and Matty Leverage touches it more. So sorry about that, guys. But yeah, man, who are you surrounding yourself with, right? Because if you're hanging out with a bunch of fucking losers, guess what? You're going to be a fucking loser, right? So there's always somebody that you could learn from. So having a good relationship with your family, having a good relationship with your loved ones, and all around just, who are the top 5 people that you're around? Are they good people? Are they going to help you level up? If not, cut them off, cut them loose. And for the third F, baby, we'll go back and forth, baby. What's the fifth?
So fitness, and that there's a sequence to reason why we have these F's, so everyone knows out there. Faith, family, and fitness. We put fitness in front of the fourth F for a reason, and John will touch on that here in a minute. But fitness to us is a way of life. We feel like health is wealth. I mean, it's a saying that a lot of people say, but I don't think they take it as serious nowadays with the way food is designed. I mean, food, after you start finding out what goes into food and preservatives, and it's pretty alarming to say the least, and the water system. So taking that into consideration, if you don't have your health in check, if you're not looking yourself in the mirror and happy with the person in front of you, only you can change that. But it's through discipline, through going out there and creating a system of feeling good but looking good at the same time, and you're looking your best. You typically will take on the day a lot differently than when you're going through life and you don't feel like you're at your top notch. And I put an analogy out there. I've been sick, and we've all probably experienced this over the last year with COVID hitting so crazy and changing everyone's this great awakening that we're all dealing with. And part of that being woke was really realizing, like, hey, I did have a flu before, and I remember waking up in cold sweats, and I was like, man, am I dying here? And a lot of people over this last year, I'm sure we've all experienced, there's been a lot of death, and it's almost made it so to me, I've gotten numb to it, almost like it's expected, where people are going to die. And I've really taken my health into consideration, and I've realized that without health, it doesn't matter if you got $1 million in the bank. I don't care what dollar figure we're throwing out there right now. I think any dying man's last words would be wishing he could live. He'd give that $1 million away, $10 million away, whatever it is, for another day on this earth, to maybe spend it with his loved ones and share those experiences of this great life, what it has to bring. So health is the real wealth. I would encourage everyone out there to try to make that part of their daily regimen. We spend so much time scrolling on our phones and bullshit with each other all day long. Health should be one of those things that's considered a priority in your life, as well as family, as well as having faith. But having that understanding that eating the right foods down to exercising, and having that clarity. It's not just physical now. Keep in mind, it is mental as well. Having that mental clarity and that focus is what I'm referring to when it comes to health. It's a full balance system that we're talking about here with the 5 F's. So understanding that health is so important to the way your outlook is on life. I mean, if you're having a crappy day, it might have been, there's a lot of reasons, but your health probably played a big role in the stress. I know a lot of diseases are created from just having that stress. So having that mental clarity and really spending that hour, 2 hours. I like to personally, me and John have been going to the gym daily together, and we wake up like probably an hour before we really want to, but we do it because that is a priority for us to get it out the way early on, so that way we're not distracted by items in the day. day because, as you know, we get caught up in the daily, hassles of trying to get to work, trying to balance the kids, trying to, get around. And a lot of times, health gets pushed to the last thing of the day, and then that day turns to the next day, and that day turns to the next week, and then next week never happens. So then you're looking in the mirror and you're wondering why the hell I look a certain way and why, I wasn't able to take care of my priorities. So I would say make health a big priority in your life. I know it's this last year I've spent the, last year and a half trying to get back to my, best shape of my life. And I feel like it's, between taking the vitamins, doing the workouts, I feel great. I have so much more energy. I can wake up earlier and go later in the days work-wise. It's blessed me in a lot of areas. And just feeling great, looking in the mirror. So I would just, encourage everyone out there just to take health as something very serious.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, there's a lot of benefits to that. I know we've already talked about it for such a long time already, but guys, it's because you got to understand the benefits of health, man. It's not just looking good. It's not just, dude, there's so many benefits to it, right? For example, I told my trainer this today, man. Every time I'm done at the gym, literally, guys, I feel like I could go take over the motherfucking world. I feel like nobody can stop me. I feel good, right? But it's not just because I just worked out and my arms look good or my shirt looks good with my chest popping now. Guys, it's the fact that I made a commitment to myself. I said I was going to do something, and I did it. I am a huge believer in this is the way that we build confidence, guys, because you cannot win in life without confidence. And it goes back to that first F, faith, baby. You got to first believe success is possible for you to succeed, right? But how do you do that? You got to believe, you got to have confidence that you can win. But when you've been a loser your entire fucking life, how do you have confidence? How do you build it? It's simple. Not easy, but it's simple. Make a promise to yourself. Maybe you're going to wake up 10 minutes earlier tomorrow and follow through. Crazy, huh? Sounds silly, but it's the fucking truth. If you say you're going to do something, fucking do it. Because then later on what happens, guys, when you tell yourself you got these big goals and you're going to achieve this, in the back of your mind, you don't believe it. You don't believe it. Why? Because you've been lying to yourself your entire fucking life. I mean, come on, guys, it's common sense. Would you believe in a friend who told you, hey, John, I'll help you move tomorrow, and didn't show up? Or said, hey, John, I'll be there when you need me, and didn't show up? You wouldn't believe that person. You would stop having faith in that person. So why the fuck do you do it to yourself? You tell yourself, I'm going to get in good shape. I'm going to be a better father. I'm going to be a better son. I'm going to be a better person. You tell yourself you're going to do it, but you don't do it. So in the back of your mind, you don't believe, guys. So there's a lot of benefits to health. Just being true to yourself, saying you're going to do something and following through, guys, that's important. But anyway, to move on to the next F, baby, that's finances, right? I know a lot of us grew up with, money is the root of all evil. Money isn't important. Don't worry about just money. Look, bullshit. If you want to live a life of significant change and being able to impact and try and being there for your loved ones, you need money. So quit bullshitting yourself. Quit telling yourself you're happy with the $50K a year you're making because it pays the bills. Bullshit. What's going to happen when an emergency happens and your kids need you and you can't provide? How do you feel about yourself knowing that you chose to not take further action, so now you can't even fucking take care of your kids? That's horrible, man. That's horrible. If you're alive today, if you're healthy today, it is your obligation. It is your motherfucking duty to live a better lifestyle for your loved ones, man. Have more money, right? Because through money, guys, there's just so much that money can do. Now, I'm not saying it's going to buy you happiness, right? Because we've all heard that stupid saying, money doesn't buy happiness. I don't know if it's true because I've never gone shopping for happiness. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm a lot more fucking happier knowing that there's nothing that could come my way today that I wouldn't be able to take care of. I'm happy. So, and guys, having finances leads to the fifth and final F. Why don't you tell them what that is, Matty? Leverage?
Yeah, so the fifth F, I think, no matter where you're standing in the world today, no matter what your background is, and this is the ultimate freedom is what we're all after. And freedom looks differently to everyone out there. And that's because we all grew up a little bit different. But you couldn't tell me if there's a guy starving in let's call it some third world country right now, that freedom's going to look the same same to someone maybe that grew up in Europe or United States. So that's going to look differently depending on the freedoms that maybe you have in this country that maybe are not available in other countries. But that could be everything from the food you're eating to having a meal on your plate to having a shelter over your head. But it's really the freedom to do what you want on your terms. It's really a quality of life. How you consider, waking up in the morning. Are you waking up worried how you're going to make rent? How you're going to keep the lights on? How you're going to get your kids to school? Or are you worried about those small things that basically hold you back from being able to live the life of freedom that you would like to give to your family, to your loved ones, and the freedom to choose with who you hang out with, when you hang out with, on your terms. And that's what in the HD living lifestyle family thinks when we think of freedom. We want to be able to live life on our terms, on be able to travel when we feel like it, eat the food we want, live in the home that we feel like, and have those luxury items if that's one of the things you want. I can speak from experience that I've had money in my life and I've had no money, and I can tell you with complete honesty that life definitely has its benefits when you have money there to pay for those items and feel giving. So when someone does need money, whether it's a family member or you want to give back on a charity level, on some level of philanthropy, then you can do those things, right? Having those choices, right? Having those options is what when we think of freedom, that's what we're talking about here, guys. You don't have to, like I said, it's not, and that's why there's four other things that have to be in balance to get you to that freedom category. It's not just one or the other, because you could be doing all financial items to get to the money, and then your health suffering for it, your family suffering because they never see their pops around or their mother around because you're working too much, and your faith, you know what I mean, as far as getting back to your roots, your gratitude, your humbleness about you that you want to have, all those items go to the wayside. So freedom is what we're all after, and again, it's about the quality of life when you can wake up in the morning knowing that you don't have to answer to anybody. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. And I think when I wake up in the morning, I like that ability to be able to say that, hey, if I need to get it to go do something, I can go do that. We all want to eventually be our own boss. Now that's a timing play, at this end of the day. But ideally, if you create these steps and you really internalize what we're talking about to you guys today in this HD lifestyle, it's the truth. I think it resonates with most people out there. They have these core values, and we've gotten away from that over the years. I know I have, and when those things were out of whack, so was my life, right? So that's why these 5 F's fundamentals resonate so much with me now being older, and I want to give those 5 F's to my son so he can go through life understanding that his old man, you know what I mean, he believes in what he's doing and he's living that on a day-to-day, and that's what everyone here in this company is looking to do, is bring those 5 F's to you guys on a daily basis so you understand that this is what we live by, and trying to create a better trail to get to that freedom bracket, because that's what we're all after.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, guys, think about it. Truly, truly, truly sit there and think about it. If you were to be winning in all these 5 areas of your life, think about it. What other issues could you fucking possibly have? Like, for real. Name me one issue that you can have when you're winning in these 5 areas of life. There is none, right? Because usually it's money, or we're sick, or, we want to go to our kid's baseball game, but we can't because the boss is a dick. These are the typical things that we struggle with in life. These are the typical things that are issues in our lives. So if you're winning in these 5 areas, what the fuck else matters? Nothing matters, right? But guys, also understand that you're never going to get all 5 perfect. It's impossible, right? So look at your life. Where are you today? Do you have a good relationship with your family? Are you overall pretty healthy, but your money's struggling? Well, then guess what? For the next few months, focus on just money, right? Or do you have all the money in the world, but your kids can't fucking stand you? They don't even respect you. They don't look up to you. Then spend some time with your kids, man, right? Just look at your life. It's going to be different for everybody. Maybe your money's okay. Maybe your relationships are okay, but you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see. You don't have energy. You can't even make love to your wife, right, passionately because you're too fucking tired. Come on, man. That ain't no life. That's no life. And I know you know it. So we're not here to offend anybody, but we're just here to kind of help you understand that it's all possible, guys. I wasn't the healthiest individual just a few years ago, okay? And we'll touch on that later on through these episodes, guys, because I really want you guys to get to know who me and Matt are. So we'll get more into details as we move on and as we do more episodes. But guys, you gotta understand, there's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about Matt. You know, dude, we both come from a background where we didn't have those advantages. We created them, right? We've all been through our ups and downs. We've both been through addiction. We struggled with addiction, and we overcame that shit. Right? So if you're in a point in your life right now where you're an alcoholic, you're a drug addict, your life is shitty, I feel for you, my man. I really do. My brother, my sister, whoever. You may be going through it, but guess what? You can get out of it. So make sure you guys keep tuning in to the HG Lifestyle Show. As we move on, we're gonna bring some experts in here that are gonna educate you guys and really give you the blueprint to what you need to do in life to succeed. There's not just one key. People always like to ask, hey, what's the key to success? What's the one secret you can give me? There is no motherfucking secret. There is no key. It's a combination of different things that you could do, right? And guys, I'm not sitting here telling you that I'm the best to learn from, that I've accomplished it. I'm not even near where I want to be in my life. But what I am telling you is that I can create a shortcut for you, right? I can help you avoid the mistakes that I made that cost me a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. That's the point. So anyways, guys, any last words?
Yeah, I would say to kind of build on what John's saying. I mean, he's absolutely right. We're no necessarily experts when it comes to going through life, but we just have a lot of experience on our side. And I think that what John's really trying to say is we can save you a lot of time. That's a resource that we can't get back because through these mistakes we've been able to overcome. We wish probably in a lot of ways we had that time back, but you can't buy time. So, that's time with your loved ones. That's time in your faith, time in your finances, working on yourself, time in, the gym that you wish you could have gotten back on your health. So understand that at the end of the day, no matter where you're at, your time is your most valuable resource. And that's why the 5Fs was created, because through this balance system, you're going to create a better life for yourself and your loved ones around you. And that's what we're trying to give back at this time in our lives, is really to save you guys the time and headaches that we had to deal with as individuals, as entrepreneurs, and learning from our mistakes is going to get you to where you need to get. And we're going to continue to give you guys, hopefully, value throughout what our experiences are, and also bringing experts. So you guys, I want you guys to stay tuned and really, let us know how you feel about what our message is and what is really resonating with you. If there's certain areas you guys want us to touch on or get certain guests in here, we'd love to hear it from you guys. We're going to continue just to bring you guys on an ongoing, just a value that hopefully no one else is bringing, because like I said, it's not just a financial conversation we'll be having. It's not just family. It's not just faith. It's a combination of all those things, because we feel there's equal importance in all those, because at the end of the day, it's about freedom. And that's what we're trying to give you guys, is the ability to be able to get to that freedom bracket. So if there's anything out there you guys want to tell us, let us know in the comments and feedback, and we're going to continue to give you guys that value that we were going to promise.
Absolutely. And guys, understand that we are not experts in podcasting or content or none of that shit. We are definitely taking a step outside of our comfort zone in order to provide valuable knowledge that we know can really benefit you. So guys, look, don't sit there and be like, oh, this dude did a bunch of ums and uhs. And look, fuck it. At least I'm trying, okay? And as I go, I'm going to get better. And so will Matt. And while we're getting better, you're still just sitting there thinking about taking action. So don't judge. Take action. Do the same shit. That is the point of doing this shit, is to inspire somebody else out there to take action. We all have valuable knowledge that we can share with someone to help. Problem is we're all too shy, or we feel dumb, or we're worried about what the old homies from back in the days are going to say. Who gives a fuck? How do they benefit your life today? And I think that's the biggest thing that Matt was talking about, is that by being able to guide his son through that, because when we were that age, we cared so much about what people thought. We made decisions based on that shit. And guess what? Didn't matter. Most of those people aren't around anymore. Fuck, none of my people are still there anymore. They're really not. I've created all new relationships, but they're better, right? They're a lot better. I'm learning from these guys. They inspire me. They motivate me. That's who you want to be around with, guys. So, guys, listen, make sure you follow us on IG. My social media is @RealJonBriseno.
And then at Matty Leverage.
At Matty Leverage. Guys, this is also going to go on YouTube. What's the page? It's the HG Podcast. That's what it is on YouTube? HG Lifestyle Podcast on YouTube. If you don't find it yet, it's because we haven't uploaded anything yet, but it will be there. It definitely will be there. And guys, just make sure that if you want to engage with us, social media is the best way to do so. So just let us know what you think, what you feel, what you want us to touch on. And guys, remember, HG Lifestyle. It's a mindset. Make sure you adopt it, baby. We out.